Hi everybody, it's Amanda from Carnivore Crisps. If you're new, this is my journey going from morbidly obese to healthy doing a carnivorous lifestyle. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate every one of you, and the more people we can reach, the more we can share this journey and inspiration that they themselves, including you, have this strength and power inside you to improve your health in your life. I received a really interesting and good email from a subscriber, and I wanted to share it with you guys because she brought up some really good points that I wanted to discuss because I experienced this too. She wrote, "One of my failures as an addict changing my habits is listening to my negative self-talk. Today I had an attack. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm still failing. I'm always failing. I'm so fat I'll never lose the weight. Look at that gut and how ugly my body is. I'm still a fat chick no matter what I do. I don't know how to lose weight, so why bother with all this work and records? This is a waste of time. This seems beyond discouragement. It's self-sabotage. This happens to me with other weight loss attempts where I'm struggling and impatient. Because this has happened before on other plans, I recognized it immediately. However, unlike other plans, I'm not starving or deprived, not feeling odd and abstract due to the diet plan. Carnivore has been filling and ordinary and predictable. I found it odd though, on day 17 the negative self-talk reappeared. If carnivore was not so good, I would have jumped off and returned to the standard American diet. Please, your videos are reassuring and motivating. Please continue, much appreciated." I want all of you to know that I actually went through this, pre-carnivore and in the beginning of carnivore, having that inner voice just say the nastiest things to me, the self-sabotage, the I'm not worth it. I slowly discovered through my carnivore journey and my working on myself that negative voice is actually not a normal voice. We shouldn't be tearing ourselves down, and I discovered why and how it happened. I want to tell you my response to this email, and then I want to talk about it a little bit and maybe shine a little bit of light for some of you that might be also experiencing this to help improve it and honestly change your life for the better. This was my response. Just a snippet that might help you. I had a deep look inside and it realized, yes, I am fat. I used to say that to myself, but I didn't truly accept it. My brain always wanted to say, I'm not that fat, or it's not that bad. However, yes, it was that bad. And yes, I was that fat. It removed any power that voice had when it would say those negative things to me. Being fat does not diminish me as an individual. It does not diminish my intrinsic value at all. Accept the responsibility your choices got you where you are, because once you do, your internal voice will realize that because you made those choices, you now have the ability to make different choices to get yourself out of where you're at. What do I mean when I say how to deal with negative self-talk? Jordan Peterson gave me an excellent piece of advice. When you have negative thoughts, write them down and then write a reasonable response to them. So what does that look like? Well, writing it down is you want to be very precise in what you write. Things like, look at that gut and how ugly my body is. Be very direct with those negative thoughts and write them down, specifically how you thought about them. The second part is writing a reasonable response. What this looks like is it's the hard part of doing this. Acknowledging the truth. I'm going to read you guys my response back to her and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. But I actually gave an example of how I would talk towards that negative self-talk in my reasonable response. All right, the negative self-talk is, look at that gut and how ugly my body is. My response: yes, my abdomen is large, has stretch marks, extra skin, and excess fat, but does that define who I am inside? Are fat cells what make up who Amanda is? No, I am the sum of my experiences and soul. The fat cells are only carriers for excess energy I have consumed from eating my emotions instead of dealing with them. Do I like the way my body currently looks? No, but no amount of shame, wishing, or hoping will change it this very moment. So what can I do? I can take a step towards my goal of becoming a healthier, better version of myself. How do I do that? By making one choice at a time to do what I need to do, not what I want to do. Sacrificing the few moments of pleasure now from food for a better future. In this, I acknowledged that, yes, I do have a large abdomen. Yes, I have stretch marks and excess skin and excess fat. That is the truth. That is acknowledging the truth. That is self-reflecting. And then being able to look and see the choices I made in the past are why I'm sitting where I am today. That doesn't make them right, wrong. It's just indifferent. I made a choice in the past, or choices, and I am today here because of them. Period, the end. No shame, no guilt, no nothing. That is the very first step, is acknowledging the truth. Second is accepting the responsibility. I, Amanda, made those choices. Nobody made them for me. Yes, diseases and addictions and things make it much harder to make a different choice, but in the end, I'm the one that opened my mouth and put that piece of cake in it. I did that. Again, no shame, no guilt, no negative feelings about it. It's just acknowledging I chose to do it. I chose that moment of pleasure over a better future. Period, the end. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me less intelligent. There's no negative connotations to it. It just is. The third part of it is decide what to do. How can you do anything if you do not know where you're aiming? And I'm not talking about like aiming, my goal is to weigh 140 pounds. No, I'm talking about a goal that doesn't have an end, being healthier. Well, what does that look like? I don't know, because for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to aim at being healthy. At least know the direction you're going to go. The last step is how to do it. I feel like it's simple yet hard. This is like the simplest yet hardest part. One choice at a time. If you've acknowledged the truth, accepted responsibility, and you know where you're aiming, the next step is making choices that point you towards the way you want to go. Now, there's a caveat with this. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. If you make a choice that is against where you're trying to go, it's not the end of the world. You have to make more choices heading towards the goal than heading away from it, and you will make improvement over time. So those are the steps to do. But I also want to talk about, how did that part of us, that internal voice, even get to being negative, to being mean? I feel like we need to understand how it got that way so we can fix it. Because again, it's not normal to be that mean to ourselves. It's not. From the time we're toddlers and have a higher conscious mind, we have an inner voice. That is the part of us that says what things are right and wrong. It's our gut feeling that we have. However, over time, we distort it, we damage it, we crack and break it. And how do we do that? By lying to ourselves, lying to others. The smallest lie can make the smallest fracture, but the thing is, small fractures are very hard to heal. Think about when you were younger. That inner voice always knew the right, the wrong. Like, if you truly acknowledge and look back on it, it knew what we should and shouldn't do. And half the time, I'm not gonna lie, I ignored it. You know, that's how you end up with broken arms and stuff, when you don't listen to your inner voice telling you not to do that stupid thing. But as we become adults and we grow and we realize life doesn't go the way we want it, we start telling lies. Sometimes purposely, sometimes unintentionally to some degree, but those lies fracture who we are. I have an excellent quote from Jordan Peterson's second book. If you understand that deception corrupts and distorts the function of the most fundamental instinct that guides you through the difficulties of life, that prospect should scare you enough so that you remain careful in what you say and do. A truthful person can rely on his or her innate sense of meaning and truth as a reliable guide to the choices that must be made through life's days, weeks, and years. If you deceive, particularly yourself, if you lie, then you begin to warp the mechanism guiding the instinct that orientates you. That instinct is an unconscious guide, so it works underneath your cognitive apparatus, especially once it has become habitual. If you rewire the unconscious mechanisms that maintain you with assumptions derived from something you know to be unreal, your meaningful instinct will take you places you should not go in proportion to its corruption. There's little more terrifying than the possibility that you could come to a crisis point in your life when you need every faculty you possess at that moment to make the decision properly, only to find you have pathologized yourself with deceit and can no longer rely on your own judgment. So how did it get this way? How did the voice get so loud and so negative?
Our conscience is what guides us through life. It's that little spiritual voice that says, this is what I should do. I should help that little kid that fell on the playground. I should stop by and help that person change a tire. But we always find that there's something else. And then when we start dealing with ourselves, I should do this for myself because it's good. I should go work out, or I should not eat that, or I should call my family member and mend that fence, and we don't do it. What happens is our conscience starts becoming embittered and angry.
Because of the lies. The big thing is the lies. Lying to ourselves and lying to others. It corrupts and it distorts that internal voice we have. And what happens over time is we lose the ability to trust it because it doesn't trust us. Our conscience then becomes something akin to a frenemy. Becomes bitter and resentful and will tell you to go eat that piece of cake because it's not that bad, when really it knows it is. It knows down the road you're going to regret it. But hey, those few seconds of pleasure are absolutely worth sacrificing your future. The worst part about this, though, is that voice is meaner than any other human being could be to you. It knows all your secrets. It's kept tabs on all your wrongs, and as many times as you lied to yourself and others, it knows exactly what buttons to push. Essentially, we've lost trust in ourselves when this happens. But here's the good news. There is a way to fix it. I can genuinely sit here and tell you, I have not heard that negative part of me for at least 6 months. It occurred to me one day that I just hadn't heard that negative self-talk, and all I did was tell the truth. It was very difficult. It was excruciatingly painful at times, having to look inside and address lies I had told myself, excuses. I had justified excuses when inside, deep down inside, I knew they were a lie. Lying to others. I had to restore my integrity. If I knew something wasn't going to happen, I had to address it. The lies absolutely fracture who we are. Even the smallest lies. Something Scott said to me recently. It's been amazingly helpful. Truth is our armor. I had been really struggling with some of these mean comments from people. It's gotten much better over the months. I have to say I'm very proud of myself about that. But when he said this to me, it kind of rocked my world. I have nothing to be ashamed of when people say I've lied, XYZ, this or that, because I haven't. I know I haven't. And when he said that to me, it's like, it is. Truth is our armor. I have nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to feel bad for, because I am telling the truth to myself and others. Scott just mentioned one. I get comments that someone's like, you're still fat, or it looks like that didn't work. And my response back to them is, yes, I am still fat, and it doesn't hurt at all when they say that, because I know I am. I still have fat. I still have weight to lose. Their comment doesn't diminish me at all, because I have accepted I am where I am. To summarize everything, if you have that negative self-talk, if you have that part of you that is constantly nagging, berating, being mean to yourself, start telling the truth today. Start with yourself. Look at your reasons and excuses and why you ate that cookie an hour ago. Whatever it is very hard. Sometimes we like to hide things from ourselves inside, and you really have to get out that shovel and dig those roots up in our mind to figure it out. It won't happen overnight, but every single little weed, that lie of a weed you pull out of your head, it's one less lie in you. Your inner voice starts trusting yourself more and more, and then you literally one day will wake up like me and realize that negative voice, it's not negative anymore. I trust myself. I trust my gut. I trust my instinct. It's an albatross off our neck like I could never even explain.
Your frenemy becomes your best cheerleader.
Scott's crying. Your frenemy becomes your best cheerleader. And that, you're going to make me cry. Stop crying. And that, honestly, heck yes. I have a schedule book, and I write everything I'm going to do today. Pick up the dog poo, walk the dogs, whatever. And every time I check something off, that inner part of me is like, yes, you did it, Amanda. And it's even gotten to the point where if I have to move something from like Monday to Wednesday or something like that, I don't feel bad because I'm like, you know what? I did everything that I could do that day, and it's okay that I didn't get it done. And my inner voice is like, that's all right. Let's just move this over without a second thought. It is cheering me on instead of tearing me down. And that is what that inner voice should be for us. It should be our biggest cheerleader we have. But keep this in mind. And this is actually goes to why it happens. Imagine you had someone that constantly told you they'd do something. Doesn't matter what it is, they'd do something. And they never did it. Would you get resentful and bitter towards them? I would. I mean, I've had people like that before in my life. And I've probably been like that to other people. No lie. Like saying I do something and I didn't. No wonder we get so bitter with ourselves. Start telling the truth to yourself. Write those negative thoughts down. Write a reasonable response, and I promise you, if you continue this a little bit every day, you will just absolutely feel blessed to have you in your own body. I appreciate all of you. I hope you got some little nugget of insight out of this because I always do. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. Please keep commenting. Please share your stories, helping support everybody. My channel is not just about my journey. It is about helping others. And I love to hear your guys' success stories. And even when you're having a difficult time, know that both Scott and I absolutely believe in every one of you. I am not some mystical, amazing being. I do not have good willpower. I have terrible willpower. But that has still led me to 107.5 pounds lost in a little bit less than 9 months. If I can do this, so can you. It doesn't matter about the number. It is one good choice after another that gets us anywhere in life. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. From going morbidly obese. Don't stop it. I got this. Our fat cells that make up who Amanda is. I really need to work on editing my stuff. So writing it down. Gosh, Rosie.
Okay, that was definitely a doggy earthquake.
That was a big Annie booty earthquake hitting the table. Bad dog. Are you recording this right now?
Yes.
Enterly. That could be a name of a business, Enterly.
Enterly? Mm-hmm. Was just interestingly in the past?
Interestingly in the past.
Okay.
Stop recording this.